Hi, Douglas. Welcome to Venture Vibe. It's great to have you with us today. Before we dive into global expansion and China, could you briefly introduce yourself and share a bit about your journey?
Okay, yes. My name is Douglas Dong-Tao. I work for Invest Shanghai for more than 27 years. I work in the field of investment promotion to help foreign companies to set up their business in China. Of course, this is my primary work, but also at the same time, we also help Chinese companies to do business overseas, all around the world. But my focus mainly in North America, that means in Canada, United States, and also in Europe. So I worked both in North America before, and also currently I'm working in Germany, in Frankfurt. Before that, also I worked 5 years in UK, in London, to promote economic and business relationship between China and counterparts in North America and also in Europe. As I mentioned to you before, I worked also in the Middle East before. It was quite a long time ago, more than 30 years ago. It's a long story. My first post, it was in Egypt, in Cairo. And later on, I moved to UAE in Abu Dhabi. I worked for another 2 years. So I have quite extensive working experience in international scenario. My main role, I work for Shanghai Municipal Government. Invest Shanghai was funded and fully operated by Shanghai Municipal Government. Of course, yes, and the local Ministry of Commerce in Shanghai, we call it Shanghai Commission of Commerce. It's a local one. In China, we have the ministry in the central government, and we also have commission or bureau of commerce in provincial government, and also in 4 municipalities. In China, these 4 municipalities, they are in the same level of provincial government. That is Beijing, Shanghai, Tianjin, and Chongqing. So these 4 municipalities in the same level, as I mentioned, in the same level with other provincial government. Altogether, we have 31 provinces, municipalities, and autonomous regions. These are the political structure in China. So I joined this kind of work in early 1990s. So I have a little bit more than 30 years in this field. And also I travel around the world to promote China, especially for me, promote Shanghai as one of the best locations for foreigners to do business with China. We always describe Shanghai as the springboard to enter Chinese market. I think I accumulate a lot of experience how to help foreign companies to start their business in China, especially in Shanghai, and also vice versa. We also help quite a lot of Chinese companies to set up their business in Europe, in North America, and also quite a lot in the Middle East and also in Africa. Perhaps you know, since you work in that region, you know Chinese business are quite active all around the world. Especially one way we try to help them to do business with China and also help Chinese company to start business overseas. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for overall. From that perspective, for funders and companies aiming to globalize, what makes China a unique market compared to other regions? What should they understand before even considering entry to China?
You know, for me, I always mention China, of course, from market size point of view, this is one of the largest market in the world, especially from population point of view. Especially I mentioned to foreign business if they really want to enter Chinese market. This is one of the things I want to mention. The second point I very often to mention to foreign companies, population is one thing. Another thing is purchasing power is another very, very important point. In China, we have a very large population of middle class. In China, when we mention middle class, usually we mention that kind of group of people aged from 35 to 45. In China, this population is very big. And for them, because all of them, they grown up after China opened its door to the outside world. So they accumulate a lot of wealth because of the development, economic development in China. So this is a big population. According to World Bank or IMF statistics, this group of people around 500 million population. So almost a little bit more than 1/3 of Chinese population. So this is almost a double size of America. According to a very, very famous professor in United States called John Mearsheimer, perhaps you heard his name, he mentioned a power of a nation. Of course, one is military, another is wealth, how much money people have. So this is the second point. Because of this group is still growing. This is another attraction I very often mention to foreign business people. The third point I very often mention, that is rule of law. In Western media, they always describe China as something as evil. But on the ground, in reality, it's not. I should say, in business world, we always do everything according to the law. The fourth one, that is the culture here. The culture here. We have a very long history, more than 5,000 years. So in Chinese blood, doing business in our culture, we welcome business all over the world. Even 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. So this kind of thing, exchange goods and also exchange people and exchange friendship. This kind of thing always in our blood. So I always mention, in our culture, we always welcome business people from all over the world to do business with us. These are the major points I want to mention. Another point, of course, I also mention to my clients and foreign companies. That is, now we have quite well organized healthcare and education system. Because when you have some people to work here or live for a long time, they need healthcare. And also they need good schools for the kids to study. So we also have this kind of system. Of course, from purely business point of view, another point is also very important. That is the speed of logistics or supply chain. This kind of speed is very fast. Now in China, manufacturing, I can say most of the companies here, zero stockpile for their parts or their goods, because in China, always you make a phone call in the morning, the spare parts or your suppliers will supply everything to your factory almost the same day. This saves a lot of money. So it's good for doing business, especially manufacturing. So this is the reason China is always, people will always say, is the factory for the world. Yeah.
Those are very insightful. Thank you. While the opportunities in China are significant, what are the most common strategic mistakes global founders make when expanding into China?
I always say this kind of mistake can happen anywhere around the world. The number one mistake is they have difficulty to find the right people to implement. This is always the case around the world, and this is not a particular issue, only happen in China. The second mistake is don't take everything for granted. Just as I mentioned, China, as a country with a huge population, that does not translate into your market share immediately. You have to understand the people here. You have to integrate with the local culture in a very high speed. Otherwise, the successful rate will be very low. The third problem is they found a very bad partner. This kind of thing also can happen anywhere around the world. In this kind of particular case, I always advise my client, sure you can do everything yourself. I advise you to do by yourself. In China, we have a kind of term, wholly owned. So 100% your ownership. So do not rely on your local partner. I mean, joint venture partner. You do it 100% on yourself. And also, according to Chinese investment law, almost all the field, we are open for foreign companies. In most cases, I advise them, especially technology-intensive business. I always advise them, please do by yourself. When you hire some Chinese staff, employee, sign a good contract, especially secrecy agreement as a part of the employment agreement or contract. So to protect your RPRs. So I think this kind of three common mistakes are very often you will find in China, especially if somebody want to draw a lesson from the past, especially from the failure story. I think this will give more insight understanding for newcomers. Success story almost all the same. Just like a Russian novel mentioned, happy family, all the same. Unhappy family, each unhappy family has their particular story.
Yes, I agree.
Happy family, almost all the same.
Yes, true.
Business philosophy, all the same, all around the world, and different culture. Mm-hmm. Christian culture, Buddhist culture, Islamic culture, almost in doing business, the principle is the same. You have to make money. You have to contribute to the society, contribute to the country. So because you pay a lot of tax, you hire a lot of people. So if you really want to draw some lesson, you have to find the right people to emerge your company's culture to local culture fast. Very important. And also try to protect your RPR, because now in economic life, RPR or intellectual property, almost in every business. So you have to use all kinds of way to protect your rights. And in China, we have all the legal system, all the legal framework to protect this kind of thing. Do this in advance before making decisions. Yeah. So if they can do all this, in most cases, they will be very successful. Of course, economy always go up and down. The environment, you cannot change the overall environment. But if you do your homework well and find the right people, the successful rate will be very high, especially in China, I should say.
Very practical advices and examples. And from your experience, which sectors or business models are currently more open to international collaborations in China?
Usually, successful foreign business in China, local partner or without local partner, in most cases, this is purely on your particular business. Some business, I always advise them to do it by themselves, especially technology related. Some business, because you need a network or you need to access the market very quickly, this kind of business, yes, they need a local partner. For example, in retailing business, department stores, grocery stores, this kind of thing. In most cases, they need a local partner. Some department stores, they already have chain stores around the region or around whole China. If you work as a partner with them, you access their network immediately. So this kind of business, you find a local partner is crucial. But in most cases, especially in manufacturing, I don't recommend, especially in current situation, foreign business try to find a local Chinese business people to work in partnership. I won't advise them because now the whole legal system to protect you and you can work on your own. And manufacturing usually, if you have good location, good technology, good product, of course you can do this kind of thing yourself. So I won't advise them to have joint venture. Some business, like in financial business, because some regulations require you have to find a local partner. So in this kind of particular case, because of financial business, every country is very strict controlled all around the world. Some business you can have 100% ownership, like insurance. Now in China, you can have 100% ownership. But in banking, stock, this kind of thing, you still have to find a local partner. Yeah. Legal structure, in China, for starting a company, usually, especially for foreign business or international business, there are two ways to set up. One is 100% ownership. As I mentioned, in China, we call it wholly owned. Another is joint venture. But from law point of view, it doesn't matter wholly owned or joint venture. They are all belong to we call it limited liability company in this kind of form. It doesn't matter which form. But in real life, limited liability, this is a very popular way of setting up a company in China. As I mentioned, it does not mean you always need a local partner. No, according to our law, this is not the requirement. So some people would always think maybe this is very important. No, just like doing business in your own country, the same. If you are very successful in your own country, you can just copy this kind of model into China and merge it with local culture. Then you can do it quite well. Especially Shanghai is a very international city. We have companies from all over the world. And also we have a history, especially in Shanghai. Try to summarize, I always mention to my foreign clients, doing business in China, do not think something very, very special, very different with your business in your own country. Almost the same. The principle the same, the way of doing things also the same. You have the right products or service, find the right people, quickly immerse yourself with local culture. Of course, the people you send from your own country, if he or she can speak Chinese, it will be another great help. But English is quite popular here.
Okay, thank you. Before we close, if you had to give one golden rule to founders entering China, what would it be, Douglas?
Actually, there's no golden rules. Golden rules are doing business all around the world are the same. You have to make money, make good friends. That's all. I think, yeah. you must have a good product or service. This is something very crucial. The second is, you have to find a very practical way to set up a business here. In China, of course, another thing is special. If you really want to do a good business on the ground, especially in China, you must have a kind of entity. This will build a kind of trust. If you're still far away in Europe or in other end of the world, it will be a little bit difficult. But if you have entity, you have an office here, you have some people provide this kind of service and demonstrate the right products, it will help a lot.
Thank you. You shared your insights and experience with us today. Thank you so much again. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.